Right, so it's the first post-lockdown battle report, and Matt's back, and it's the Wars of the Roses. So while I've been painting all of my stuff up, so has Matt, which is a lot. So there's about 600 models on here for this, and we're not using everything because we apparently a 7 foot by 4 foot table isn't big enough for all of it. So we thought we'd just start everything off with a basically an all-out scrap. So it's going to be a basic battle. We've both got 3 divisions, or battles rather, and the victory conditions are very simple. It's after 6 turns, whoever has the most victory points is the winner. You got to win by 2 clear points, otherwise it's a draw. And the way you gain victory points is you get 1 victory point for each unit that is shaken at the end of a turn. I should probably say we're using Hail Caesar with some modifications, which I'll talk about in a second. And you get 2 victory points for each enemy unit that's either fled the table or is broken entirely. Also, there's going to be some bonus victory points if you manage to kill enemy commanders. And enemy commanders are going to be worth a number of victory points equal to the combat bonus, because they're variable. So for example, Edward the Fourth down here has a combat bonus of +5, so if Matt takes him out he gets 5 victory points, whereas Hastings over here only has a combat bonus of 2, so he's only worth 2. So yeah, I've kind of got all my eggs in one Edward the Fourth shaped basket. Lancastrians deployed first, so they're going to have the first turn. And yeah, we'll just go for 6 turns. Battlefield's pretty simple. We're both on two opposing hills. Road down the middle, the Great North Road, the A1. So on the Yorkist side, we have Edward the Fourth. Actually, I should probably just say we're using some amended rules from Hail Caesar and sort of a mix from the stuff that was on the Perry site, and then we've taken those, added to those, added some skills. And we've also made rules for each of our commanders and some new rules for some cannons. So cannons can do some misfiring. So if we roll to hit with a cannon or a bombard and it rolls a 1, we're going to something terrible might happen. And we'll roll through the commanders now and just basically show you what their abilities are, and then we'll get on to Lancastrian turn 1. So, the Yorkist commander is Edward Plantagenet, Edward IV, the Earl of March, the Duke of York, and he has a strategy rating of 9. He has a combat bonus of +5, so any combat he adds quite a hefty bonus to their melee ability. And we've given him the rules Battle King. Basically, Edward would always lead his troops from the front, and he'd always be found where the fighting was thickest. And units which Edward has joined and units that are within 6 inches of him gain the Valiant rule, which means they get to re-roll 1 break test per game. So if they've already used that ability once in the game, they don't get to reuse it again if Edward comes back within another 6 inches. Also, we've given a rule called Son of York. Basically, because Edward was known for his prowess in battle, he was a bit hot-headed. So if there's a combat going on within 12 inches of Edward, then he must pass an order test prior to issuing orders to his own men, or he's basically got to charge in and join that combat. So that could be a bad thing. Next up, we've got William Neville, Earl of Kent, Lord Falkenberg, who's got a strategy rating of 8 and a combat bonus of +2. He was one of the more reliable Yorkist commanders, and for that reliable commander, we're basically units receiving orders from him basically add 1 to their strategy rating, so they're more likely to follow his orders. And the final Yorkist commander is William Hastings, Baron Hastings. So he has a strategy rating of 8. He also adds 2 to any combat he's in. And he's got the ability Ear of a King. Now, Hastings was Edward's spy master, who was one of his most trusted advisors, and he was privy to most of the king's plans, not all of them, like to do with his marriage. That probably didn't go past him. But basically, he can elect one of his units to become drilled as he uses the information he's gathered before the battle to his advantage. And all drilled does is it means that even if that unit fails its command roll, it gets to execute 1 order. Now, on the Lancastrian side, it's led by Henry Beaufort, the 3rd Duke of Somerset, son of the one that was killed at St Albans however many years ago today. Because today's the anniversary of the First Battle of St Albans. Somerset has a strategy rating of 9 and adds 4 to any combat he's involved in. He's also got the rule Staunch Lancastrian, so units under Somerset's command were fiercely loyal to him and to his cause. Somerset can choose one of his units to re-roll an order check. This is in addition to the normal re-roll granted by a general under the Hail Caesar rules. And also, we're going to record Hope of the Lancastrians. Somerset was regarded as the best hope for Lancastrian victory. Somerset may issue commands to units from other friendly divisions so long as they have not yet received an order that turn. So if Northumberland tried to issue an order and it failed, and he already hadn't ordered some units, if Somerset's within command range, he can basically order those units to do something. Speaking of Northumberland, he's the next commander, so Henry Percy, the Earl of Northumberland. He's got a strategy rating of 8 and adds 2 to any combat he's in, and his rule is he hates the Nevilles. So when he orders any units to charge any unit commanded by a Neville, which in this case would be any of Falkenberg's units, he may re-roll the result if it's not what he wants, but he has to count the second result. The last Lancastrian commander on the field is Henry Holland, the Duke of Exeter, who has a strategy rating of 8, a combat bonus of +3, and his rule is fear, because basically he had a horrible reputation. Basically, enemy units wishing to charge a unit that he commands lose the charging bonus. However, his own men weren't particularly fond of him, and so they blunder on an 11 or 12 rather than just 12. And just for deployment on the Yorkist side, Edward is on the left flank with 5 units of household, a cannon and some heavy cavalry. We've got Falkenberg in the centre with a bombard, 5 units of household troops, which are a mixture of men-at-arms and bill and bow. And then Hastings is on the side over here with 4 units, a cannon and some light cavalry. On the Lancastrian side, the Lancastrian left flank is held by Somerset? Yeah, Somerset, who has 5 units of household troops, a mixture of bill and bow and men-at-arms, and Lord Hungerford's heavy cavalry. In the centre is held by Northumberland, who's got a rather nasty looking unit of pike. He's also got the traitor Trollope at the back there with the green flag, and another 5 units and some light Calais garrison, and is a cannon part of Northumberland's. Yep. And over on the Lancastrian right flank is Henry Holland, the Duke of Exeter, who's basically got, again, another 5 units of household and some cavalry as well. So it's going to be a big... Oh, wait, we can't forget. Matt had to bring it in. And watching the battle under a tree is Henry VI. Sad Henry, eating an apple under a tree while everyone fights. Just chilling out. So that's the battlefield, that's the deployment. And it's going to be a big old game. So we'll get to it, and Lancastrians have the first turn. Okay, so obviously there's loads of stuff moved. Only one thing didn't, which was the traitor Trollope hanging out at the back there. So basically Matt elected to go with Exeter. It's Exeter, isn't it? Exeter first. And Lancastrians are just doing what Lancastrians did. And they advanced, basically. So he's managed to move all his troops along the outside of the flank here. He's managed to take the hill. He's got some crossbows there, which are going to be in range of Essex's men down here. We've got foot troops coming along here. In the centre, Northumberland advanced. He tried to charge with these Calais veterans here, this light cavalry, but they didn't want to do that, so they just moved forwards. The pikemen moved forwards and changed formation. And everyone's basically coming down to the road. So a bit like Towton, the Lancastrians are just doing a bit of a general advance. And over here, Beaufort, the overall army commander, issued a divisional order, and his whole brigade, division, battle, whatever you want to call it, that will move forward one move. So he's been a bit cautious over there. So overall, it's quite a successful turn. You only had one thing that didn't move.
Yep.
So that's it. So we will now go into the Lancastrian shooting. Right. So what do you want to fire with first?
Fulford over there.
Yep.
Firing his crossbows into
that's
Essex's
Essex's household troops. Okay, so they're over half range. We know that they're with 18, but they're over 12, so you're -1. That's it. So you're just rolling 3 dice, needing 5s to hit. 2 hits and a 6, which means I need to take a break test. It's not like Black Powder where you're automatically disordered. You actually have to take a break test. Okay, so it's 2 hits. There's a -1 because they're crossbows, so I need 2 saves of 6. No, so I've taken 2 casualties, and I have to take a break test because of the 6 he rolled. Okay, so break test is a 5. So a 5, I can hold my ground disordered or retreat in good order. I'm going to hold my ground disordered. Right, so what do you want to go with now?
I'm going to go with cannon.
Yep.
I'm going to fire
at my heavy cavalry.
Yep.
Do you not like my heavy cavalry?
I don't.
Right, okay, so the cannon rules we're using as per Black Powder. Basically, but it has a 36-inch range. Now, we've added a few rules for cannons, some house rules that we're trying out. That is, first of all, if he rolls a 1 to round hit, we have a bit of a misfire chart. But also, for this, every time you fire a cannon, you put a reload marker on it. So, and that reload marker can be removed via a normal order. So it's possible then that if you failed the order to remove it, that the cannons don't fire regularly every turn. The exception to this is the bombard, which after it's fired gets 4 reload counters on it. So it might only end up firing twice a game, which is sort of realistic, isn't it? Because they fire...
You're lucky if you could get 3 shots in a day.
So yeah, so there we go. But obviously you don't want to get hit by this thing. Also, if this thing misfires and blows up, or if he did it at the minute, I'd probably be saying goodbye to quite a lot here. It was the King of Scotland, I can't remember, was it James IV, I think, who it blew up in his face and killed him. Anyway, we get it. So it's 1 dice. He's firing over half range, which is -1, so he needs a 5. And he's firing over the heads of his troops, which is -1, so he needs a 6. Okay, so I need to save 6. No, and because he rolled another 6, I've got to take a break test. It's a 6. Okay, that's not good. Retreat disordered. Right, so they need to retreat, so they need to take 1 move off the back of the battlefield, and they're disordered, so they can come back. But that's not good. That's not good at all. Don't like that cannon. I don't like it. There's a big cavalry-shaped hole in my line now. I really don't like. Right, what do you want to shoot with next?
I don't think I've got any.
We've got some guys here.
Try them on. Let's go with. I think I'm closest to the household.
Yep. So the household troops. So yep, you should be. We'll just measure it. You should be within 18 inches.
Yep.
Yep, within 18. Okay. So you're just over half range. So you're 3 dice hitting on 5s. So it's 3 dice hitting on 5s, but all household troops have got the marksman rule, so you get to re-roll 1 miss. That's better. Yay! So the end of Lancastrian turn 1. Lots of movement. Are you happy?
A bit happier now that the cavalry's gone.
I bet you bloody are.
They'll be back.
They will be back. Well, they might have got to get them on the battlefield. Right, so that's the end of it. So now it's time for the Yorkists to decide what they're going to do. So we're going to Yorkist turn 1. Okay, so I've had a bit of a conservative turn. So over here, Edward ordered his archers forward to take position here so I can get some shots over on Exeter. I tried to order these guys and then Matt pointed out that they're disordered, so they can't, so they're just going to stay there and fire. He's ordered the Pembroke brothers up to fill the gap. He's moved across. He moved his cannon over so I can get some shots in, and he's pulled some men-at-arms up just to protect himself on that side. In the middle, Falkenberg has done a little bit more. He's ordered his first set of household to the bottom of the hill so they can fire on advancing troops. We have to see if this unit can fire. Bombard has still got a clear shot, but maybe it's only one of the game. He's ordered all of these household units here, and then he ordered Lord Scrope of Bolton to charge the cavalry of Lord Hungerford, who countercharged. So we have our first close combat of the game, which is the heavy cavalry, maybe happening a bit early, actually. I don't know, it might have not been a good idea. And then I've elected to keep all of Hastings' troops in reserve. So we shall see what happens. We'll go over into Yorkist shooting. Okay, so to kick things off, the unit that took casualties last time from the crossbows are going to fire at the crossbows. So they get 3 shots. They are disordered, so they're -1, and they're over half range, which is another -1. So I get 3 shots, needing a 6. Needing a 6, and I can reroll 1 for marksman. Oh, I'll reroll that one. So 1 hit, and you take a break test. Once over 5. No, nope. And so you're taking a casualty, and now you roll 2d6 for the break test. I don't think they're going anywhere. So they've taken 1 casualty, and the result of 11 meant they hold their ground without penalty. So unfortunately I couldn't disorder them. So the next unit, which is these guys, they are going to fire on the unit of men-at-arms directly in front of them. They're over half range, but they're not disordered, so it's 3 shots needing 5s. So a hit and a break test again, and a reroll missed. So you need 1 save of 4 and a break test. No, so 1 casualty and then your break test. You're fine. Okay, so next I'm going to fire my cannon at the light cavalry that came forward. Now it's under half range, so I'm going to get 2 dice, and I'm going to be hitting on 4s. Please not a 1. Please not a 1. 1 hit. Okay, so they only have a save of 6, and the modifier from the cannon means that they automatically take the hit, and they're automatically disordered as well because it's a hit from a cannon. Chuck a reload counter down there. So that's all of Edward's division. So we'll move on to Falkenberg's, and we're going to start with the bombard. And the bombard is going to fire at the pikemen. We said that the bombard just gets 1 dice anyway. So the way we've sort of looked at the bombard, or the rules that we're just trying out, is that the bombard has a 60-inch range but produces 4 reload markers, and a unit that is hit by a shot from a bombard must take a break test regardless of the result. So even if he's hit and he saves or whatever, he has to take a break test. So even if it's not a 6, we're still taking it. If I do roll a 1, and I've got to roll on this chart we've come up with, I suffer a -1. Also, it's probably pretty obvious, but the bombard is stuck there now for the entire game because they can't just pick it up. They'd have to unhook all of this stuff here, so that ain't moving around. So I need 1 dice. They're firing over the heads of those men, so he's hitting on a 5. No, it's a miss. So no tests, but it didn't blow up in his face, but now it gets 4 reload markers, so it may fire before the end of the game. So this unit of household are going to fire at Northumberland's unit of household. That is Northumberland, right? Yep. So they're still over half range, so I've got 3 dice hitting on 5s, and I can reroll 1. Come on. Oh, 2 hits, reroll that one. 3 hits and a break test. 3 saves of 5. 2 casualties, and your break test. 10. I don't think they're going anywhere, but I will check. They're absolutely fine. They're absolutely fine. In that case, I'm going to move over here to this unit, and I'm just going to see if they're in range of those guys. So 18-inch range. Whoop. Yep. So they're in range, so 3 shots, but over half range, so hitting on 5s. We roll 1. All miss. The only other piece of shooting I have is this cannon here for Hastings, which is going to fire at one of Beaufort's household units. It's over half range, single shot. 1 dice needing a 5 or more. Yep, 6. So it's a save of... no, it's not a save. So they've got a save of 5. It's -2. So they take a casualty and they're automatically disordered. And they need to take a break test. So 2d6. Double 1, double 1, double 1. Bugger. Okay, so not a really successful turn of shooting. Managed to put some casualties on these units here. I've disordered a couple of units. So they're not going to do anything. But now we're going to come to the big thing here. So we're going to work out... Bloody motorbike. We're going to work out this. So we're both going to get charging bonuses. We're both heavy cavalry. Oh, this is going to be messy. Okay, so this is going to be particularly brutal. So the heavy cavalry, so their clash score is 9. So we're both rolling 9 dice. We've both got the tough fighters rule, which means we can re-roll one of our dice that fails to hit. And we all get +1 to hit because we've both charged. So we've both got 9 dice and we're hitting on 3. So Matt, do you want to go first? And you get to re-roll 1 miss. All but 2. So 7 hits for the Lancastrians. And the Yorkists... 6 hits. So I need 7 saves of 5 because the Lancers give a -1, so normally saving on 4. We've both got the stubborn rule, so we get to re-roll 1. So looking for 7 saves of 5. That's 2, and I can re-roll 1. Okay, so I've taken 5 casualties. That's really not good. 6 saves of 5 for the Lancastrians. Re-roll 1. Nope, so 6 casualties for you, 5 casualties for me. Okay, so Matt caused 5 casualties to my unit. I caused 6 to his, so my guys win the combat by 1. So Matt's got to take a break test -1. And his unit is also now shaken. 10. I'm going to guess that your guys aren't going anywhere or they've just got to retreat. That's unbelievable. So you haven't rolled lower than a 10 for any break test yet, and you've had to take like 5. So that combat's going to rumble on. That's going to be annoying. And Matt's unit is shaken though. So we should go into it. That is the end of the Yorkist turn. So we'll move into Lancastrian turn 2 and see what this lot are going to do. Right, okay, so quite a lot happened actually, to be fair. So over here, Henry Holland ordered his cavalry to charge, but they only got 1 move off, so they've kind of faltered halfway. However, this unit of... They're men at arms actually, aren't they?
Yep.
Have charged into the household troops who failed to get any hits in closing fire from the bows. Over here, Northumberland has just basically made a steady advance forward, which I think is going to result in a lot of shooting. And the cannon at the back successfully reloaded, and Beaufort over here has pushed everybody forward. So now this combat has got all sorts of supports going on. It's got 1 from this side, 1 from the rear flank. He's basically made a really big push on this side. So overall, it's quite a lot going. So we're going into Lancastrian shooting. So what do you want to shoot with first?
I can shoot the Fulford's crossbow again,
Yep.
but that's -1.
It's it's -1 because you've got to go through there. So it's -2 because you've got less than half clear line of sight. So you're going to be hitting on 6s. Of course, you get 2 6s. I need 2 saves of 6. 1 save, so 1 war casualty, and I need to take a break test. 10, so they stand the ground, but I take another casualty. So Northumberland now, yeah?
Yep.
And it's the cannon.
Yeah.
At these chaps. So 1 dice, and that's going to be hitting on a 6 because you're firing over the heads of your own men and you're over half range.
Nope.
No. Okay, at least it wasn't a misfire, so he just gets a reload token. And what's Northumberland going to go with next? We've got lots and lots of shooty troops now, haven't we?
Them onto there.
Okay, so you're at half range, so that's fine. So it's going to be 3 dice hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 miss. Two hits, 2 saves of 5. 2 casualties. So this unit, yeah?
Yeah.
This unit, so you're under half. So again, 3 dice hitting on 4s. Oh, balls. Okay, so I need 3 saves of 5 and a break test. Come on. Bugger. 1 save, so 2 casualties and a break test. That's an high. Oh, a 6. Hold your ground disordered or retreat in good order. I think I'm going to retreat in good order. So you can shoot at them. It's just you'll suffer -1 because you haven't got clear sight of their -1, so you're going to be hitting 6s. So 3 dice hitting on 6s. I can't believe you only get to re-roll 1 as well. Right, okay, so I need 1 save of 5 and a break test. No, casualty, break test. 9, I think they hold their ground, but I'll check. Yeah, hold your ground without penalty. Yeah, that's all the shooting. So which combat do you want to do first? It's your turn, so you can either work out the big mass combat there, or we've got the little combat. Okay, so you've got your men-at-arms, and your men-at-arms have... Where are we? Men-at-arms have a clash of 7. So you get 7 dice, you charged, it's +1, so you've got 7 dice hitting on 3s, and they're tough fighters, you get to re-roll 1 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. I have 6 attacks hitting on 4s, 3 hits. So 4 saves of 5 for me, 2 casualties, 3 saves of 4 for Matt, but he gets to re-roll 1 because he's stubborn. So 2 casualties as well. So that combat is a draw. So no break tests are required. And now it's going to be the big cavalry clash here. So we both get 6 dice, but then Matt's going to get some additional attacks from support. So Matt gets 6 dice, hitting on 5s because his unit is shaken. Okay, so 3 hits. I have 6 dice, needing 4s to hit. That's terrible. 2 hits. 3 saves of 4 for me. 1 casualty. 2 saves of 4 for Matt. 1 casualty as well. These guys here offer 3 attacks in support, so they are hitting on 4s. So it's 2 saves, so 2 more, so I've got to make 2 saves of 4. So I've taken another casualty, and it's going to be the same. These men-at-arms offer 3 attacks in support as well. Yes, because they're tough fighters. So I need 2 saves of 4. Oh, save both. So I take 2 casualties and you took 1 casualty. So I lose to combat. So I'm taking a break test. So I'm 2d6 -1 because Matt won by 1. So 10. No, they're gonna hold their ground and just carry on fighting. Okay, so that's just gonna grind on, which isn't quite what I think either of us wanted to happen. But I have a feeling now the lines are gonna go. How do you think it's going?
Just waiting to see what happens with that cavalry.
Yeah, I think whoever breaks through over there is going to win. Although, yeah, I need to get Hastings lot moving. All right then. So that's the end of Lancastrian turn. So everyone's in combat, pretty much. So over here, Hastings has ordered his men forward to start giving fire on Beaufort's men. The Calais garrison have moved up to support Lord Scrope's cavalry. These men-at-arms under Geoffrey Gate have charged... what's his name?
John Rodden.
John Rodden. See, it's really hard because we've got to try and remember all the names of all of these individual guys that we've done now because we've gone to the effort of doing them. Fulkenberg has ordered his archers to positions on the hills and ordered one unit of household to charge into men-at-arms down there. Over on this side, Edward tried to get Essex to charge into the light cavalry but failed, so now they're just sitting there in the way of the archers. However, he's ordered the Herbert brothers up, who are now supporting this household unit, and then he failed to move these guys. So over here on the Yorkist right flank, this massive combat here is going to resolve, and I have a feeling one side is just going to break and the whole line is going to crumble for somebody. Probably me. So it's shooting for the Yorkists, and I don't think there's actually anything on this side I can shoot because they're standing in the way. Cannon didn't get to reload, so we'll go with Fulkenberg first, and this unit of household here will just fire at your unit there, who are going to benefit from the hedge. So I have 3 dice, and I'm going to be hitting on 5s, and I'm going to be re-rolling 1 dice. 1 hit, so you need 1 save of 5. So the hedge line makes it easier, so it's 4 or more. This unit here are going to fire over the heads of the men, so they're going to be at -1, and they're going to shoot at those pikemen. I think you're right, just to measure that. I think I'm outside of 12, but I might as well have a look. So I'm at -1 already, so I need 5s to hit. Yeah, I'm just out because that's above the base. So I need 6s. Oh, I get to reroll 1. As the best roll of the game, it's the best roll of my life. So you need 3 saves of 5, and you're taking a break test. 1 save and a break test on 7. You hold your ground without penalty, so they just take 2 casualties. Yeah, see, this is the problem. We've realised that we've got far more units than casualty markers, so we're going to the red tokens. So the next bit of shooting, and the last bit of shooting, is just Hastings' men here are going to fire into that unit there. So that's Edward's future father-in-law. Yeah. So we've got Edward's father-in-law there, Edward's brother-in-law there, we've got a traitor Neville there. So this is just
Loyalist Neville.
A loyalist Neville. Well, yeah, loyalist. So I need 3 dice, and I haven't got a clear shot, so I'm hitting on 5s. Rerolling 1. No hits. Reroll a 1. No, all misses. So that's the end of Yorkist shooting. So now we're just going to go into the huge combat. We're going to work out this combat on the flank first. So I've got my men-at-arms who have a clash of 7 against you, who's got a clash of 6. And I've got tough fighters, so I can reroll 1. So I'm hitting on 3s, you're hitting on 4s.
6 dice, is it?
Yep, I've got 7 hitting on 3s because I charged. I get to reroll 1 for tough fighter. That's still rubbish. So 3 hits for me, 2 for you. 3 saves of 5 for Matt.
Nope.
3 casualties. 2 saves of 4 for me, and I'm stubborn, so I saved them all, so I won by 3. So Matt lost combat by 3, so he's got to take a break test -3. 10 -3 is 7. Give ground disorder together with supports. So they've retreated behind that unit there, and I'm just going to hold my ground and offer support in the following combat. So for this combat, we both get 6 dice, because that's our sustained attack value. We're both shaken. So we're at -1, so we're both hitting on 5s. 6 dice hitting on 5s. Make a reroll 1 for tough fighter. So 3 hits from the Yorkists. Get to reroll 1. And 2 hits from the Lancastrians. Yorkists need 2 saves of 4. Are stubborn, so you can reroll
So
1.
I could have saved.
You could have saved 1. There we go. So I took 1 casualty, and you need 3 saves of 4. 2 casualties. Okay, so attacks now from supports. So Matt has 1 unit supporting, so they're going to get 3 dice, and they're going to be hitting on 4s. So 3 dice hitting on 4s. And they're tough fighters, so you get to reroll 1. Okay, so 2 hits. I need 2 saves of 4. Both saved. I have the Calais garrison unit supporting at the rear, so they get 3 dice and they are hitting on 4s as well. 3 hits, you need 3 saves of 4. Another casualty. Okay, so Matt took 3 casualties that turn. He's lost by 2, so he's taking another break test, so just work out the modifiers. So it's just a break test minus 2.
Cavalry in combat, give ground disordered together with all supports.
Right, so basically because Hungerford's cavalry can't retreat through all of those men successfully, they are destroyed. The unit over there that supported was fine, they can move back alright, but Hungerford's cavalry are gone. However, because I basically can't consolidate because my unit is shaken as well. So that's the large combat, so I'll just move on to this one. So I have 6 attacks, Matt has 7. I'm hitting on 3s, Matt is hitting on 4s. Oh, 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits each. 5 saves of 5 for the Yorkists. That's 2, so that's 3 casualties. And 5 saves of 4 for the Lancastrians, plus they get to reroll 1. No, so 4. So Matt lost combat by 1, so he's got to take a break test minus 1. Oh,
no, I think you're hand-to-hand. Break if shaken, otherwise give ground together with supports or disorder. So you give ground.
So give ground.
Give ground, so 6 inches back.
No.
No,
Do it.
so they're mashed then, so they're gone. So my men are going to try and do a sweeping advance into the pikes, which is probably a bad plan, but I'm going to lose the charging bonus because of the long spears. And there's a new round of combat. So no charging bonus because the long spears negate that, so I've got 6 dice hitting on 4s. And that's 2 hits. Matt has 6 dice also hitting on 4s. That's 3 hits. 3 saves of 5. Oh! All done. And 2 saves of 5. 1, so 1 casualty. So they also lost to combat by 1, so you're 2d6 minus 1. They're staying exactly where they are. Okay, so that's the middle resolved. And then over here, so my men get 6 dice hitting on 4s. Matt gets 7 dice hitting on 4s, but I've got the Pembroke brothers supporting. All but 2, so 4 hits. And you get to reroll 1. 5 hits. 5 saves of 5 for the Yorkists. That's not so bad. That's 2 saves and 4 saves of 4. That's 2 as well.
Reroll 1.
Oh yeah. So only 1. William Herbert offers 3 attacks in support, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1 for Tough Fighter. It's 3 hits, so you need 3 saves of 4. Ah, bollocks. So that's a win for the Lancastrians on that combat. So I'm testing 2d6 minus 1. Oh god.
Break if shaken, always they give ground together with supports or disordered.
However, because they've got Edward behind them, you're going to get the Valiant rule. There's 6 inches, so they're going to use their 1 Valiant test. They can re-roll their break test, and it's even worse. So the result is actually a 3. So they give ground all disordered. Okay, so that's the end of the Yorkist turn. So they've made good gains in the middle, but over here, it's not going well for the king. He's actually getting pressed back. All his troops are getting pushed off the board. So I need to sort out this side. So it's now the Lancastrian turn. Right, so everything happened on this flank. Mind you, stuff happened over there, but the whole battle line, which Matt kind of predicted before the game actually even really got underway, is the Yorkists are pushing forward on this line over here, but on this side, Exeter is putting a lot of pressure on the king. So over here, Matt's light cavalry, Exeter's cavalry charged into the Earl of Essex. Exeter himself has joined that combat, and those crossbows have moved up in support. As well, this chap here, these men-at-arms have charged into this unit who failed all of their shots. The light cavalry have charged into the men-at-arms here, and all of Exeter's men are just basically doing a general advance. Northumberland managed to reload his cannon, and his men have basically just got stuck in, so there's going to be a bunch of fire coming from them. These men-at-arms have charged into Gate, and over here, Beaufort's men have charged into the side of the shaken unit of heavy cavalry, and this lot are just waiting for that combat to be resolved to face off probably against Hastings' reserves over here. So, yeah, quite a lot. I don't like how pressed I am over here. I really don't like that at all. So now it's into Lancastrian shooting. So, at my cannon. Okay, so you are... No, you don't. That's just black powder again. Okay. So you get, you're getting 3 dice. You're hitting on... Wait a minute. So shooting at artillery is -1. So you're hitting on 5s. Rerolling 1 miss. Oh, bugger. Okay, so I need to... cannon has a morale of 0. So the cannon has taken 2 casualties, meaning he's only got 1 left. Onto here, so this unit here. 18, yep, so you're fine. So you're 3 shots, hitting on 5s, rerolling 1. Is that all 5s? Do you want to reroll 1 and go for a 6?
I'm fine, I'm good with that.
I need 3 saves of 5. 1 save, 2 casualties. Who's next? Into them, so the casualties are mounting. Okay, so you're at half range, so it's 3 shots hitting on 4s, sorry, rerolling 1. 1 hit, so 1 save of 5. Come on. Nope, another casualty. What are you thinking?
Let's either try and get rid of them, or them with the cannon.
So this lot are only 1 casualty off being shaken, and this lot have only taken 1.
I'll go with shooting at them.
Okay,
Try my luck.
so it's just going to be, you're over half range, you're firing over the heads of your own troops, so it's hitting on 6. Nope. So now it's these guys firing at them, and it's just, because that cart's not actually cover, it's only there as a bit of window dressing, so it's 3 shots over half range, so it's 3 shots hitting on 5s. Rolling 1. 2 hits, so 2 saves of 5. 1 casualty. So no more shooting. Now it's just the massive combat. So it's your turn. So which combat? Where do you want to start?
I want to get rid of those guys.
You really don't like them, do you? Okay, so your men-at-arms charged. They've got a clash of 7, so you get 7 dice. You charge, so you're hitting on 3s. I get 6 dice. Fighting back, and I am shaken, so I'm hitting on 5s. So hitting on 3s, and you get to reroll 1 for Tough Fighter. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. I have 6 attacks hitting on 5s. Reroll 1 for Tough Fighter. No hits. That's really not good. So I'd actually need 6. So I need how many is it? It was 4. So I need 4 saves of 4. Rerolling 1 for Tough Fighters. Reroll 1. So I take 1 casualty, but that 1 casualty is going to be enough. Oh wait, no, I do have a unit in support though. I've still got my Calais veterans at the back. So I get 3 attacks hitting on 4s. So 2 hits, so you need 2 saves of 4. Rerolling 1. Damn it. So I lost by 1, so I'm taking 2d6 minus 1. 8, I would have to double check, but as they're already shaken, they might break. That was hold your ground without penalty, so they are staying there to fight next. So which one do you want to do? Do you want to do that one?
Yeah, I'll do rush roll into...
That's Jeffrey Gate. So you're going to get 7 dice, and you're hitting on freeze because you charged. Right, hitting on freeze, re-rolling 1. Is that all of them?
Yep, all of them.
So that's 7 hits. I get 7 back, hitting on 4s. That's not as good as he just rolled. So I get 3 hits. 3 saves of 4 for Matt, re-rolling 1. Don't do it. So you get 1 casualty, and then I need 7 saves of 4. Oh dear, get to re-roll 1. Oh, that's 5 casualties. Yeah, they're shaken. They're very shaken. Okay, so I've lost the combat by 4, so I'm testing 2d6 minus 4. For a result of 6. Okay, so I got to give ground in good order together with any supports, so no, they're just retreating. Okay, so because my unit couldn't retreat in good order into a space that it could occupy, it was destroyed. So Matt's now made a sweeping advance, and both its men have gone into the other side of Scrope's unit. So they count as charging, so they're going to get 7 attacks, and they're hitting on freeze, re-rolling 1. That's 4 hits. I get 6 attacks back, hitting on 6s. 1 because I'm being hit in the flank, and the other 1 because I'm shaken. I get to re-roll 1. No, none. So I need 4 saves of 4. That's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, so the next combat here, it's the Pikes. So the Pikes get 6 attacks. Who won the last No, it was a draw, wasn't it? No, was it? No, you tested but held your ground.
Yep.
So I won the combat, so I'll get the +1. We keep forgetting to add that. So basically, whoever won the last round of combat adds 1 to their roll to hit. But I think, to be fair, a lot of people have been drawing anyway. So the Pikes are 6 dice hitting on 4s. 5 hits. Got 6 dice hitting on 4s. Oh god. 2. 5 saves of 5. Oh dear. 2 saves of 5. 1 casualty. And now Trollop gets to add support, so that's going to be 3 dice hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1 for tough fighters. Another 2 hits. 2 more saves of 5. That's another casualty. Okay, so I did 1 casualty. Matt's done 6. I've lost to combat by 5. I'm shaken and all that bad stuff. So I need 2d6 minus 5. Okay, that's not awful. It's a result of 6, which is give ground in good order. So yeah, they're leaving. So it's here for the cavalry. So this small unit of cavalry is armed completely with spears.
Yep.
Okay, so they have a clash of 5, and they're hitting on freeze. And there's no reroll for them.
No, so 1
hit. 7 attacks for me, hitting back on 4s, re-rolling 1. And I get 4 hits. Okay, so that was a save of 6 for Matt, but no, so he's taking 4 casualties, and I need 1 save of 4. That's fine. So Matt's lost to combat by 4. That's a great test for Matt. 2d6 minus 4. Yeah, I think, yeah, they're gone. Okay, so now we've got this combat here. We've got the Earl of Devon. So that is 7 attacks. Hitting on freeze, re-rolling 1 for tough fighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Yorkist got 6 attacks going back. Hitting on 4s. No rerolls. 2 hits. 2 saves of 4 for Devon. You can reroll 1 because he's stubborn. He saved them both. And I need 5 saves of 5. Ah, just 1, but I still lost the combat by 1. So I am taking a break test minus 1. I feel like they deserve to not have to take a break test for that.
4. They are break if shaken, otherwise give ground together with supports, all disordered. I think they're going to be mashed because they can't escape. So yeah, they're destroyed. So these guys are doing a sweeping advance into the flank of this unit, and it'll be a fresh round of combat. So Devon is going to get 7 attacks. This happened last time with him, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was Devon before, so he's going to get 7 attacks, hitting on freeze again, because they count as charging. So he gets reroll 1, yep. That's 6. It's really not going well over here. I've got 7 attacks going back, but because I'm attacked on the flank, I'm -1, so I'm hitting on 5s. Get to reroll 1 for tough fighters. So 3 hits for me. 3 saves of 4. Rerolling 1 for stubborn. 2 casualties. 5 saves of 4 for me. Rerolling 1. That's 3. So how many did I do to you?
3.
3 and 3, so it's a draw.
Oh no, 2.
Oh no, 2. Oh, so I lost by 1. No. So it's 2d6. 2d6 -1 on the break test. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, no way. So they have to give ground disordered. They had to go away from the enemy. So they're going that way, so they're going to be over here. And that's the rolling up of Edward's troops. I need to actually see down if he's got any men left. Okay, so Devon's finished rolling up the line there. And so now over here, it's the light cavalry into Essex. So that's a full unit of light cavalry though, isn't it?
Yep.
So they're going to get 7 attacks, hitting on 3s. But you've been joined by Henry Holland, the Duke of Exeter, who adds 3. So it's going to be 10 attacks, hitting on 3s. All but 1.
Yep. 9 hits.
What is it with you? Dice rolls are amazing. 9 hits. 7 attacks going back, hitting on 4s. You get to reroll 1 for tough fighters. So I got 6 hits. 6 saves of 6 for the light cavalry. Oh,
Nope.
no one. Oh dear, so 6 casualties. 9 saves of 4 for Essex. Rerolling 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 casualties. Matt also has the unit of crossbowmen in support, so they add their support. I'm looking at the wrong dice tray. They add support, so they're hitting on 4s. 1 hit, and it's 1 save of 4. The Yorkists, reroll it for stubborn. No, so it's another casualty. Right, so the combat is a draw, so we've just got to roll to see what happens to Exeter, because he was taking, Exeter, because he was taking part in the combat. And the way this works is I roll 2d6 and add his combat score to it, and if it's more than 12, then something's happened to him. So his combat score was +3. Yep, so 2d6. You roll for it, actually, it's your commander. I don't want to be responsible. 9, so no, nothing happens to him. So he carries on fighting, but that's where they can get wounded or indeed slain. So that's, I think that is all of the combat. So that is the end of the Lancastrian turn. And we've run out of casualty markers because there's just so many on the board. So now it is the Yorkists. Okay, so there wasn't a great deal of movement on my part. I suppose the biggest thing that happened is that Edward kind of got his act together. He's joined Pembroke's unit and they've charged the Earl of Devon in the flank. So that'll hopefully deal with that. And then nothing else moved. No one else wanted to do anything. This unit were going to charge them. They failed. They used a reroll. They failed. So all of this combat is just going to roll on here. Down here, Falkenberg has ordered one of his household units to charge the pikes, so they're going to run bravely onto the ends of those. I've nearly stabbed my fingers on them moving them. And Hastings completely and utterly failed to get his reserves in, so that could be costly. So it's straight into shooting I'll start with Falkenberg. So this unit here are going to shoot at that unit there. So they're within half range. Well, within half range, so they don't take that penalty, but they're going to benefit from the cover. So it's 3d6 hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1. Oh, and it's a break test. 2 hits and a break test. 2 saves of 5. But you have still got to do a break test. You're fine. Absolutely fine. The bombard is reloaded, I should have added, but there's no one to shoot. So that's not going anywhere. So the next bit of shooting will just be Hastings' unit over here, firing at both its men at the bottom of the hill. So it's going to be -1, so it's going to be 3d6 hitting on 5s, re-rolling 1. Oh. 1. So one save and a break test. No, so 1 casualty. Oh, so the result was retreat disordered. So they go back up the hill. So that's all right. That's all right. Right, into the bit that's interesting, into close combat. So I think we'll start here in this combat. I know Matt wants to get rid of those bloody knights. So we'll start there. So got to work out how this can do, because the knights are engaged to 2 flanks, so I've got to basically split my attacks and I get supports. Matt is going to get 7 attacks from that side and 6 attacks from this side, so it's going to be quite a few rolls here. So Matt, do you want to start with your men at arms, since they're the biggest unit? So you're going to get 7 attacks. You won the last round of combat, so you're +1, so you're hitting on 3, so it's 7 dice hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1. 5 hits. Then it's 6 attacks on the other side, and they are also hitting on 3s. 4 hits.
Yep.
So it's 9 hits overall for the Lancastrians on Scrope's unit. Scrope is going to fight back. He's going to put 3 dice into both units, basically. So the 3 dice into Lord Roos, that's this fella over here, hitting on, you see, shaking, hitting on 5s. Rerolling 1, so it's 1 hit. So Lord Roos has to make 1 save. 3 attacks on both its household unit. Oh, but he's already used his reroll, so it's 2 hits. We might as well do... Oh, hang on, I've got my supporting unit. I've got the Calais garrison, who get 3 attacks, hitting on 4s. No, they all missed entirely. Do you might as well, because you've got so few saves, you're 1 for Lord Roos, so he's saving on a 4. Okay, fine. And your household units are saving on 5s. It's unbelievable. I need 9 saves of 4. Bear in mind that the unit's already shaken. I get to reroll 1 for stubborn. Okay. That's 6. They've already taken 6 casualties, so that's double. So they are shattered. The unit is just annihilated on the spot. And I don't know what happens to the supporting unit, but I'll find out because they're coming off the board. So the Calais garrison have to take a break test because the unit they were supporting was shattered. Oh, it's a 5. I think that's just going to be a lot of retreats disordered. Yep, it's give ground disordered, so they're going to move back 6 inches and just stare at people. Okay, so Matt is the victor. He's just chosen to reform on the spot. So leaving that combat alone now. Actually, come to think of it, hang on, he's got, just checking Falkenberg's units, he's got 1, 2, 3, he's still got 4 units left out of his original, so no, he's not got a broken division yet. So now it's a combat here. I've got my guys here that charge, they lose their charge bonus. They're going to get 6 dice hitting on 4s, and the pikes are going to get 6 dice hitting on 4s as well. All but 1. All but 2. And then you get your supports as well. So you've got Trollop in support. So that's 3 attacks hitting on 4s. He's men at arms as well, isn't he? So he'll be re-rolling 1. So re-roll 1. So 5 hits in total. 5 saves of 5. Okay, so I've lost 3 men. And you need 4 saves of 5 for your mercenaries. 4 men. So Matt lost to combat by 1, so he's taking a break test -1. 6 is give ground disordered. So we'll do the combat up here that has Exeter in it, and so I'm getting 7 attacks. So I've got 7 attacks hitting on 4s. Oh, that's really not very good. I get to reroll 1. 3 hits. The sustained fight value of the light cavalry is 5, but plus 3 from Exeter, so 8 or more. 8 or more? What do I mean 8 or more? 8 dice needing 4s you needed. 2 hits. The supports from the crossbows, so that's 3 dice needing 4s to hit. Oh, so 1 hit. So that's 3 saves of 4 for the Yorkists. Well, hey, and 3 saves of 6 for the light cavalry. So it's 1, so they've taken 2 casualties and they've lost to combat by 2. So it's break test 2d6 minus 2. They are gone. Oh, we need to find out what happens to Exeter. So we need to find out what's happened to Exeter. So on a roll of 1 to 2, he is slain. 3 to 4, he is wounded. And on 5 to 6, he is unharmed. Ah, come on. So because that unit is broken, the supporting unit has to take a straight up break test of just 2d6. No modifiers. Yeah, they're fine. Okay, so the last combat here is Edward. So the Pembroke brothers get 6 attacks, and they get to add 5 for Edward. And they charged, so they are hitting on 3s. Reroll 1. That wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. 6 hits. So Exeter has 7 attacks. He's shaken, which is -1, and he's in the flank, which is -1. So he's hitting on 6s. He gets to reroll 1. Lovely. So 1 hit. 1 save of 5 for the Yorkists. No. So 1 casualty. 6 saves of 4 for Matt, and he is already shaken, so if he fails all of these, they're shattered. He gets to reroll 1 though. So 2 casualties, so you lost to combat by 1. So we need to roll what happens to Edward, so this could be bad, so we roll 2d6 and add 5. Yeah, that's well over 12. So now we roll a d6 to find out what happens to him. Basically, we need a 4, 5, or 6 here. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. Edward has been slain or captured in the fighting. But he counts as a casualty as well for the combat. So that might be one rule we need to kind of have a look at as well. I don't know. So Edward got stuck in, and they pulled back, and he's just been caught out and killed. The king is dead. Long live the king. Okay. Based off of the results of what's just happened, we've decided it is probably sensible to call it here. We are going to work out what the casualties are and what the victory points are. Edward has been carted away by the Lancastrians somewhere, and so we'll come back to you in a second. Right, so I destroyed 4 units, which gives me 8 points, and there are 2 shaken Lancastrian units on the board, which gives me a total of 10. Matt destroyed 3 Yorkist units for a total of 6 points. There are 2 shaken units on the board for the Yorkists, so that's 2 points. But he did capture or kill. Anyway, yeah. Matt got 13 points, and I got 10.
He's off to Burgundy.
He's off to Burgundy. He's left. So, yeah, a very, very brutal affair. Very bloody. But to be honest, it's just nice to get all of them out on the table, because we've now been building these up for, what, nearly 2 years?
Yeah.
Nearly 2 years.
This is about 2/3 of our...
This is about, yeah. We had to lessen it, so this is, each of our armies is a third bigger than you can see here, and we were probably already, I mean, obviously we're already pushing it, but it's just nice to get all the models out on the table. First post-lockdown game, obviously we wanted to do some more. We are going to do some more battles. They'll be a little bit smaller than this, and probably a little bit more narrative driven. We've got a small campaign system that we're going to be working on, plus other rules that we want to add for
using Hail Caesar. But if you guys have any rule suggestions, let us know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, that's another Lancastrian victory. I'm going to go away and paint up another bombard. It's the only thing I can do. I will see you guys all again soon. Take care.